Well, the boys are back in town. We're back for another podcast this week. James Blanchfield from Kilkenny, Tom Crotty from Carlow, Johnny Tobin from Tullow. Lads, how's it going?
All good.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Nice.
Plenty of rugby going on at all grades and interprovincial and talk of internationals and all that sort of stuff as well. Sure, isn't it great? Where do we start after last week? Well, we were talking to you, James Blanchfield, about Dundalk. He's weren't expecting much from the game, which is, as you said in the WhatsApp group, you sent them back up with their tails between their legs.
We did, yeah.
12-10.
I think they were shocked to lose the game. I think they came into it. They came into it thinking they were going to win, and we came into it in a way thinking they were going to win. And I think everybody in Kilkenny thought Dundalk were going to win, bar the 20 lads for Kilkenny that togged out because, geez, they gave it absolutely everything for 80 minutes. It was a poor game of rugby. We got absolutely annihilated in the first four scrums. The new chap from Cork, Joe Moynihan, came in alongside Louis Venter after the third or fourth scrum, and we got solidity in the scrum then, and parity, I suppose the lad says. And then we just really owned the game. And I mean, the more I think about it all week, we scored 2 tries. We had 2 tries disallowed, and we could have scored another one, So in hindsight, thinking back, we'd be disappointed not to have picked up a bonus point against them. Dundalk are a good side, but they're really a 10-man team. I'd say they're out half made in the whole game. If you made it 4 passes to the centres, that was the most of it, We also left 11 points off the board from place kicks as well. So, we won 10 points to 12 through a bit of brilliance at the end through Jake MacDonald and Liam Caddy. But we certainly could have beaten them by 25 points more had we taken all of our chances. Roy Stanley was over the line and somehow managed to knock on. I don't know how I was up the other end of the pitch, but somehow managed to knock it on. And on a final pass assist on the right-hand side to put Lyndon Brannigan in for a try, there was a forward pass. It was actually harder to throw it forward than it was to do it properly. And you know what? In the end of it, we were delighted with it to get a win, particularly given our scrum woes with them earlier on in the game. But for us, we cannot continue to start as slowly as we are and giving teams the opportunities we're giving them, because our defence is holding well, but against the better team, Sea Points and Monkstowns, we won't get those opportunities to try and get ourselves back into a game again.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said in the article, great for the confidence, though.
Class, brilliant. Yeah. There was great performances all around. Gary Dunn was immense at number 8. So was the 2 boys on the flanks, Roy Stanley and Shane O'Riordan. Actually, Shane O'Riordan has only joined us on Muskerry. He's up working in Glanbia at number 7, but he's just a groundhog. He just kills everything he sees on the ground. They were class. Hugh Corky had a massive game at number 12 as well. Hugh was Tim Corky's older brother. He's been down with Bowes UL for the last few years, and he's had some bad shoulder injuries, but he's back now and he's going really, really well. So the subs bench did the job they were meant to do. Everyone did the job.
He's never got a good run of luck, did he?
He never got a good run of luck. Even when he was with G on the Southeast and Leinster stuff, he was always having injuries and stuff like that. So, you know what? He's absolutely flying now.
Yeah,
he has Aidan MacDonald in beside him. So they would have played together in the same youths teams coming up. So we're excited about this team. We have a class back line. Our packer coming right. Joe Moynihan in now to make things more solid in the scrum. Wayne Kavanagh's on the way back after a few seasons out. He played seconds last week. Got a harsh yellow card and he threw the ties out of the cot over that. But he's on the way back. So suddenly, you know what, we're far more optimistic about things where we are now than where we were 6 weeks ago.
That's great stuff. It's great to see that as well, especially when it's unexpected. But sure, as you said, the lads that went out in the pitch weren't thinking they were going to be bet anyway. Tom Crotty, you've 100% record so far. What happened up in Clondalkin? You didn't really give them much room to think. 20-0, well done.
Yeah, no, another very good result. Well, 2 good results over the weekends. The seconds played, they started off on Friday night. They played New Ross and they beat New Ross 82-0.
That all?
That's just 82, yeah. Yeah, no, look, at the moment it's
just 82.
Just 82, yeah. Like there was a serious amount of lads out there who've kind of haven't been able to contest for the first of the month because of, as I said before, like with playing with work and shift work and so on. But no, look, they had a great result. They had Puddy Nolan back, Jeff McDermott, Sam Dunn, Jack Hickey. They all played really, really well in the seconds. Then we went up to Clondalkin on Sunday. It's a tough place to come out with a win. So we started off kind of poor. It was kind of ebb and flow between the two sides. Then we got a try through. It was Conor Moore. Conor was playing back row, played really, really well. He's only 22, 23. Another young lad came on. We had started at number 8. Conor Tracy had a powerful game. Conor also plays hurling and everything else. So, but he's an immense size of a man and played outstanding. Evan Gordon took on the captaincy as well as Shirley was away for the weekend. Evan had a great game. But at the end of the day, like, our defence was really good. As you can see, we didn't give him anything. But on the other hand of it, then we weren't accurate enough. We were disappointed we didn't get a bonus point. There was a number of chances that we kind of butchered. Our penalty count was too high. We got two good tries from the backs. Some fella called Crotty in the centre didn't score 2 tries.
That's the Kilkenny coming out in them.
Yeah, it must be. And then, they should have really had 3. So it's great to get a win. It's 3 from 3. We are coming to a big game now at the weekend with Wicklow. It's going to be a tough ask. Because I think Wicklow are strong enough, but all we can do is take it week by week. The lads are training well. We've had great numbers of training. They're starting to get structure to their game. They're still not accurate enough. I think actually a lot of the problem is that they don't have the belief yet that they're actually a decent enough side. And it's that I think that'll come with time. They're young. Look, they're a young side. They're building. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm really looking forward to Sunday, because I think Sunday will let us know exactly where we're at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we weren't, as a club, we did all right at the weekend. J1s, as I said, won. J2s won. 18s beat Portlaoise. 16s beat Tullow. 15s beat Boyne. Actually, that team was a cracking game. It was 43-44. The 14s lost to New Ross. The girls, the Rhinos combination, they beat Enniscorthy in the Southeast, which was a great win for them. They're on a roll. And I actually watched this. Our under 13s lost to a very good under 13 Tullow side. It's a really good side, Johnny. So there was no shame in that loss at all. That was a
I believe
game.
It was a great game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like we started off well, and then you just came back in. And they're very good. Look, great side, I have to say, really, really good. So it wasn't a bad weekend all around. Happy enough.
Happy days. Johnny, a bit tough for Tullow. You'd Boyne at home, and you'd have a heap of different things on. 21-46.
Yeah. Look, you can be as positive as you want. You can sit here and make a lot of excuses, but for me personally, leadership is the like you take like an excuse, but you really can't and really cast out of a team and try to expect young lads to fill into that mentality, that mind frame. It's a massive ask. I just think we're not there yet at that level. But 32-21, and they got an intercept try. And I was speaking to a couple of lads, Willie Holla and a few others, and they're saying at 32-21, we thought we were going to win it. We thought getting back into it. So look at, I don't know. This weekend is going to tell a lot. If we go to Kildare and get a loss, we're in bother. There's no 2 ways about it. If we don't come out with Kildare with a win, we're not in good shape.
How are Kildare going at the moment, Johnny? Give us a preview of what they're like at the moment.
They're okay, but it's like Clondalkin. It's a very hard place to go and get a win. It's not an easy place to go get a win. If you go to Clondalkin or Kildare and come out with a win, you're going to earn it, and you're going to be sore from it too, because they're They're very, very physical. But look, I don't know. It's strange times. There was actually 4 or 5 guys played on Saturday who could start in the first team right now, and played in the Old Boys game on Saturday. So this is just where we're at the minute.
That's it. Yeah, just trying to find your feet a bit, but sure, that'll come as well, Johnny. And like you said, you still have lads missing with the football and everything. Because the Carlow Football Championships are still sort of flying it. They're getting towards the business end now, but
yeah, well, like Tullow were playing a game last week, and if they lost, they were relegated back to Junior A. But if they weren't in a quarter-final at intermediate, so they obviously won. They beat the Cox. The Cox went down, so we got Jack McDonald back from the Cox. But like, we're only getting 1 and 2 and 3 guys from these teams as well. Like, we're not getting 5 and 6 back. So
yeah.
It's more retirement is the issue. But look at, I think it's an issue. I'm not going to lie. There's no point sitting here and saying, "Oh, we'll be good next week," or "We'll be better next week." I think we're in a worrying place at the minute for leaders, big time.
Yeah, the experience heads. The as you said, the Willie Casses, the boys that live and breathe Tullow, and you know that they are Tullow, and it's an identity thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's hard when you're missing those fellas.
Willie Canavan and Willie Cass are playing senior rugby since they're eligible to play senior rugby, and they're playing first team rugby since that. William Canavan only played seconds rugby for the first time in his life. I think it was a year and a half ago. He played in the Seconds Town School final. I think he played 3 games all of seconds rugby. He's never been out of the first team. So, massive leader. Willie Cass at the back in 15. I wouldn't tell him this, but there's not many better than him at Junior 1B rugby, to be fair to him. There's not many lads better than him.
Yeah,
the big losses.
Yeah, so well, fingers crossed it go well now in Kildare at the weekend. That's on Sunday, of course. Also on Sunday, Tom, you were saying, of course, you've Wicklow, but you're at home, so that's good when it comes to trying to keep that momentum going as well.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're fair. We just I know we're going to be missing. We're missing Cam and Brennan in the centre, which is a big loss, and try and fill that position just for this week. He's got football. It's another in leash. So, other than that, look, we'll take it. As I say, it's really to give you a test as to where you are. You know, Wicklow will come down. There are 3 teams fighting for the top at the moment. Boyne are out there on top, and ourselves and Wicklow then are second and third. So we'll see.
Wes will be back this weekend, will he, Tom?
Wes is back, yeah. But
he'd be a big influence for that game.
Huge influence. We need him for definitely. Look, he's an old head. That rest that he had, didn't play anything last year, stepped away, kind of gave him a new lease of life. So look, we'll wish. But there's competition. That back row played really well. As I say, that young Tracy chap was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal for his first start as a senior game. Played really, really well.
That's the job. Well, best of luck in that one. Kilkenny are on the road. They're heading for Monkstown, James Blanchfield.
Yeah, we're heading up to Monkstown on Saturday. Kick-off what J2 is at 1:30. First is at 3:00. Look, we're going up there. Will I say quietly confident? I don't know. We're going up there and hope. I don't know. But after last week, certainly going up there with more confidence in the unit than what might have been there if we had gone up there 3 weeks ago. Monkstown are kind of in the breakaway group. Themselves and Sea Point are at the top of the league. Then there's kind of ourselves and Dundalk in 3rd and 4th. Look, we'll be confident enough. Apparently, we were speaking with Doc there the other day. Monkstown have a few players coming back. They're like ourselves as well. So it's probably the first big test for both of us in the league this year. But we're going to be missing Liam Caddy. He's away paying 7s for Bermuda or Barbados at the moment. And Wes Carter, we're not sure about the status of Wes at the moment. He's still carrying a knock from the Setonians game, an ankle injury. So apart from that, it's a full bill of health going up. The seconds had 22 guys togged out last Saturday. The problem is with seconds in Kilkenny is you'd have 22 last Saturday, you might have 15 this Saturday. There's no continuity in the commitment from a lot of the seconds, and it's a shame because, you know, they're a bloody good team, and if they can get that continuity and get themselves out training at least one night a week as a squad and as a team, they will compete in the league. But there's just no familiarity between them, and they're kind of stitching a team together at weekends, going out, sticking with, like they stuck with Dundalk up until 10 minutes into the second half. It was 8-all. We went 15-8 up. Then the whole show fell asunder on the seconds, and they lost 22-8, 27-18 or 27-15. But look at Monkstown, first real big test now this year. We thought we were going to have that with Dundalk last week. I think given Dundalk's or Monkstown position in the league, 3 points ahead of us, if we have any league ambitions, we have to be beating them. And if we come out with a bonus point, great. But I think the objective up there has to be go on the road and beat them now. The lads have set a standard for themselves, so that standard has to be maintained.
Absolutely. Your women are out on Friday night.
They are, yeah, brilliant. The women are out back in their first competitive match in a couple of years. They've Tala at home. I was chatting with Megs Hennessy there the other night. They're delighted. There's a good, there's a good cohort of girls out there playing. And fingers crossed now that they can get, like, it's not all about the result on Friday night. For the first foremost primary objective is to get them back on the pitch in competitive rugby. That's been done. They played Wicklow in a challenge match, Wicklow J1s in a challenge match a few weeks ago, and they lost that, which you probably would have been expecting. But you know what? It's brilliant. They're playing out in the club on Friday night, and there's a lot of people talking about going out and giving them a bit of encouragement as well, because they're an integral part of our club and have been for a long time. And hopefully this is the beginning of a new start for women's rugby in Kilkenny.
Absolutely. It's great as well. Yeah, it'd be nice to get out on a Friday night out to Folkestown and have a pint or two or whatever it is.
Yeah, they'll get to use the new dressing rooms. Kind of women. One of the reasons for the new dressing rooms is to have a place where women and men can talk out together at the same time with their own privacy. So that's there now as well. So it's great. It's brilliant.
Good stuff. Well, the best of luck to all the teams at the weekend, lads. Things going, I suppose. The Tullow have a weekend off this weekend. Johnny, they're back out the following week. I think it's the bank holiday weekend on the Sunday, and that as well. But they're going well at the moment.
Yeah, they're going well. Yeah, and fairness to them, their numbers are good at training. A couple of girls back now from football as well, so it's building it up. And they're being coached very, very well. Aho and Paul are doing a great job coaching them. And they're very enthusiastic, the two boys. In fairness to them, they're really interested in it. They're not just doing it because they have partners there or doing it to fill numbers. They want to be there, and that says a lot about the two lads. Paul gives a lot of time. I know he works shift work, so and trying to play first team rugby as well himself. So whenever he's off, he's there. And then Aho obviously got married recently, so he's been missing there for a few weeks, but he'll be back now, and the lads are putting big effort into it. I know Louis will be with them as well, and Scott Callbeck. So it's good to see first team players showing interest in the women's side of things too.
You've got good men there as well.
Playing for them as well, isn't there?
Sorry, James.
Kira, there's two very good players for Kilkenny with them. Kira O'Dwyer and Jane
Kira
O'Neill.
O'Dwyer and Jane O'Neill.
Yeah.
When Kilkenny lost their team years ago, they jumped up. Yeah.
Kira's also up with Belvedere. Kira's a class player now.
Yeah, she's top quality. Yeah, top quality. To be fair, Jane's only come back from injury though now, I think, isn't she?
Yeah. Jane is a really, really good runner with ball in hand. Like, I mean, she's like, when you watch Jane run, you swear she's not moving, but she's just gliding along with a real kind of real athletic run, just dipping and diving into a tackle. She's class.
Yeah, she's very, very good now, fairness.
Absolutely. That's good to see, lads. And Kilkenny developing a course as well. And the Tullow team as well, very enthusiastic and getting stuck into it as well. Great to see. I was up at the Leinster Zebre match at the weekend. Brought the kids and all up. Hadn't been in the RDS for, 500 days since the last game there.
Who's counting?
525 days they were telling us when we were up there. It was grand. It was good. The whole atmosphere was good, considering, obviously there's COVID restrictions and masks and all that sort of crack as well. But it was nice to be back up there. You can't beat it, as we spoke about before. The Aviva Stadium is not the same.
No.
The buzz in the RDS is better. We're heading back up now for the Scarlets match on Saturday evening. So myself and my wife. So we're going up to catch that one as well. But a pretty straightforward win over Zebre. Harry Byrne's injury, though, is going to pique the interest of the Irish management as well, who were there on the day actually watching the game.
Is it Joey Carberry, point 2?
With injuries.
Yeah, like a lot of pressure we put on Joey Carberry 5 years ago to be the successor to Sexton. Now a lot of pressure on Harry Byrne, and just injury after injury after injury.
But like some players are durable, other players aren't. Some players are injury prone, and you can have them as fit as you like, and they just pick up injuries, and in a semi-pro
if Harry had Ross's durability, you can find it.
In a semi-pro environment, sometimes these guys can play through the playing barrier, but the stakes are so high in professional rugby. They're so well-minded. There's so much at stake that they're not, and you feel sorry for the chap.
Yeah, we're still in bother for that 10 position, aren't we?
We are.
I see Jack Carty's thrown his name into the hat.
Yeah,
very much did his interview saying that what was the Connacht playing the style that Ireland are playing, so there shouldn't be any problem with moving in there.
Yeah,
the other two boys that are really stepping up is Neil Doak's young fella, Nathan Doak. I think he's savage. He's savage.
He had a great game, 3 tries.
He can play 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And the other fella that impressed me the other day was Ben Healy.
Healy had a savage game.
Yeah.
He had a savage. The only thing I'll say about Ben Healy is we'll have to wait and see till he gets a pressure match again.
Yes.
He's definitely gaining in confidence. His kicking is superb. He's not an attacking out half, but his control of the game has definitely improved. I'd like to see when the pressure comes on if he can handle it.
Give him a Heineken Cup game or something. Yeah.
But I wouldn't change Doak out of 9 because that's the problem. That's the problem with Irish rugby. We keep fucking putting lads into change of positions round. We have to have a top class 9. I mean, you have Casey there coming through. You have Doak there. Like, there's plenty of cover at 9.
I agree with you. I'm a really big Craig Casey fan. I think he's great, the energy and stuff. But after watching Doak over the last few weeks, I'm starting to put Doak nearly ahead of him. I think he offers a little bit more.
Well, you have horses for courses. Like if whoever starts, you've definitely something different coming off the bench.
Yeah. The other thing is, I was looking at on Twitter. There was a lot of talk on Twitter today about an experiment of putting Ben Healy to 12 for Munster and playing him outside Carberry. So you're playing.
Oh Christ!
I think it'd be ridiculous. Carry on now.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
You're having 2 distributors and that's it.
Yeah.
No, I don't see Stephen Larkin doing that. I'd be very surprised if he did. If he did, I'd be disappointed more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because.
But it's again, Sexton had a great game last week, and
he was fantastic.
You saw the difference between Leinster without Sexton against the Dragons to Leinster with Sexton against Zebre, and he just shows his value. And I know we were talking a few weeks ago about it's time for him in Ireland. His performances with Leinster make me actually realize his importance to Ireland, but we still need to plan for life without him. And I still think the time is right now, 2 seasons out from a World Cup, to shake it up and give someone else a shot at it. Because we've all seen Ireland do well in 6 Nations and come to a World Cup, and we're coming home. Yeah, way too early.
Yeah. Bring Sexton into the camp for the autumn internationals, but bring in your Harrys and bring in your Carberrys and see how to go.
I wouldn't have them in the autumn internationals. What?
Sexton?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Even from an experienced sort of coach and mentor-y
type I wouldn't. I personally, now I could be miles out, but personally I wouldn't. I'd give young lads a shot on these because they're not. All right, you're not going to win a 6 Nations off them or anything right grand, but you're playing Japan, who have beat Ireland before, New Zealand, who are the test team to beat, and Argentina, who are very, very good standard as well. And they're 3 very good tests.
Absolutely.
I agree with you, but the other side of it, Johnny, is
Johnny on the bench.
It's a results game. And it's great to start some of the young fellas and I'm contradicting myself here to a degree. It's great to start the young fellas and give them the run, but it is a results-driven game. And
Yeah, no, I
seedings
understand it.
now,
I get that.
yeah, that's where Sexton's value off the bench will be, leadership off the bench, or even starting and coming off.
Yeah, if there wasn't such a gulf
my
between
there
the
is, it was you're a little later than me. Sorry, my problem on it is that it's result. Yeah, it is result based. I get that, but then you play Ross Byrne for talk's sake. You bring Sexton in for the last 20 minutes. We win in the last 20 minutes. Oh, it's Sexton. We need to get Ross Byrne winning this games in the last 20 minutes. We need to get Ben Healy winning this games in the last 20 minutes. We know Sexton can do it. We need to put these fellas in,
Mm-hmm. And leave Billy Burns up in Ulster.
Yeah.
You really don't like him.
No, I haven't a minute for him. I just don't get it. I really don't get it.
You have an awful problem with Billy Burns.
Well, I'd like to see Jack Carty having another shot. I know
I agree with Tom. Yeah,
there is something. Sometimes he just kind of misses out. But then again, like if he's determined, like to stand up in front of and do an interview and say, "Yeah, I'm ready here to have a go at the Irish job."
Takes great confidence.
A 10. That's a lot of confidence, and he is playing very well. I know Connacht didn't get the result, but he is playing well.
Like back in the day, the Irish A thing was great to blood fellas and give them a chance and kind of, it's a step below. It's probably a step up from provincial, but still a step below from the out and out international. But is there merit for more A games? With the gulf of players that's in Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, and France, could you run it in parallel A6 nations?
Yeah, like the old A's and the Wolfhounds and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, the summer tours, they used to be great. I used to really enjoy them. There's a lot of merit for it because the only litmus test we have at the moment is pressure Heineken Cup matches. So if you have Jack Carty and he's sent out for Connacht and to play, I don't know, fucking Toulouse or whoever, and he does well, then you're like, geez, this lad might be okay on an international scale because he's dealt with the pressure well. But that's the only real feel we can get for any of it. And it's the worst thing about it. But yeah, there's definitely merit for.
Like you look at Tom Daly, who we've spoken about a lot in this, and he's in there. He's in an Irish camp. Went to the summer tests, didn't get a run out. Surely it didn't mean something for him even to get an A cap. And start the ball rolling.
Yeah, Ian Dowling got his shot with the A's as well. I remember being up in Tallaght Stadium watching him playing the Argentina Jaguars or whatever they were called. But it was the Johnny Murphy played that night as well because they interviewed him. But that was their stage. I
was just about to mention Johnny. Johnny has the most Ireland A caps out of any other player. So he informed me during the summer. Johnny has the two worst stats for a trivia question you could ever have in the world. Who's the first professional rugby player to miss a penalty kick in the shootout? And who's the most Irish in it A caps? Johnny Murphy is your answer to both of them.
I was talking to him today.
Oh yeah, we were up there in Newbridge yesterday. I was speaking with him.
Yeah, no, he's
a good coach, lads.
He is, yeah.
He's an ace kicking away there as well, doesn't he?
He is good. In fairness to him, and new coaches.
Absolutely.
To be fair,
I think some of the lads have a delay on the recording here, but sure we'll keep her going anyway, because we're all looking at each other waiting for answers, and then they come a bit later. But the big story, I suppose, coming out of provincial rugby, well, the out half thing will continue on. We could talk for days about that. But Munster getting a bit of momentum going in their United Rugby Championship campaign, but RG Snyman is gone again. That's brutal.
A disaster for RG Snyman, right? A disaster for Munster. And it's terrible. It's terrible for the fella, But you know what? Every cloud is a silver lining. We spoke 2 weeks ago about Tomas Ahern. He could be the luckiest player in Ireland this year. It's his time to shine now. He's a fair bit of gear. I think that it's a good thing for Irish rugby, a bad thing for Munster, but a good thing for Irish rugby and Tomas Ahern that Snyman has gotten injured.
He played very well the weekend.
He did. He was excellent. Now, one of the lads in work, he actually plays with the club, Louis Venter. He's very good friends with RG Snyman. They're actually best buddies. He was down in Limerick with him 2 weeks ago, and he was chatting with him on Monday or Tuesday. Poor fella's absolutely dejected. Like he is. He's.
It seems like a lad who wants to be here.
He wants to be here. That's what Louis said. He does want to be here. There's question marks.
Yeah, he seems like that type.
Yeah, there's question marks regarding Diolande getting an extra year on his contract, but everybody wants Snyman to stay, including himself.
But he'll bring something. If you watch his play and his whole confidence, and like the try he got the last day, he's offloading. Like he's a good second row to have in the basis of coaching and to bring on young fellas through. And it is probably the only one of the signings that I really, from a Munster point of view, I thought was a great signing.
I agree.
We need all the provinces need to bring in players that are going to improve the younger players coming through, or they want to be the next person. They want to be chomping at the bit to play with them, or to train with them, and to maybe take his place. It's just, you need that influence, and Leinster have done it for years. Munster did it in previous years when they started the ball rolling.
Jim Williams and Langford.
They started the ball rolling, but then it's moved on to Leinster. Have really great players.
Rocky, Blanchfield, Nasiwa.
And Nasiwa on the wing. Like
the prop, what was his name? Stan Wright. These guys, they all had an impact.
But they all bring something to, they bring something to the team, and they bring something to the province, which at the end game then will hopefully bring something through to Ireland, to the Irish.
Most have signed some bogeys over the years, like
stupid stuff, but they're not the only ones.
I mean, you could pick a 15.
I think Leinster got the rub of the green with
Munster signed, and like they had a German international there for a season or two. They had a lad from Uruguay. Now look, he was Sandrago. He was a tight head prop. Justin Melk. He was a German number 8 of South African origin. These fellas were coming in, taking up contracts of fellas who could have had an impact. Local fellas, Yeah. They had Bonzo down with them for a year or two as well, didn't they?
Now you have Leinster supplying them.
Yeah, no, it's
Carlow, County Carlow. They're a separate province to Leinster.
You wish, Johnny. You wish.
You're nearly a Wicklow anyway, Johnny.
Yeah,
Just
about. We're multicultural in Tullow. We take lads from all walks of life. We take them from everywhere. We've lads from the Nard and everything.
But yes, Johnny, it was funny because when we were sitting down trying to organise the rhinos, the girls, even trying to advertise. How do you advertise? And that's it, from the county, because County Carlow. I said County Carlow just doesn't sit well with you. So I think the agreement was,
get into it, Tom?
it's the area.
Do you want to get into it, like
the kids from the area?
You're that's all you'll be ever in Tullow.
Well, County Carlow football.
County Carlow. Fucking hell. You don't hear Ennis Gordy going County Wexford Rugby Club, or Wexford Rugby Club even. County Wexford Rugby Club.
But see, we're only one of the four. The four that are the football clubs, you see.
Yourselves and Trinity, is it?
No, Effective, ourselves, Lansdowne. There's about 4. There's only 4 or 5 in there are the original ones. They're actually they're the only called that are called football clubs. What? Except the accent went a bit astray in Carlow.
When he went senior there a few years ago, I remember being up at a match, and there was a few fruity accents on the sideline. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh, those.
That was good old banter. I'd have no issue with County Carlow FC, but there's a lot of guys in Tullow now who would refuse to call it County Carlow.
Well, I tell you, to be honest, Johnny, I've never you don't actually. It's just the title, but you'd never actually say it. Like if you're introduced to me, like you never go. My name is Tom, and I'm from County Carlow Football Club. It is. It's Carlow.
Laugh at you probably, you know.
Yeah, we'll try and get rid of the Carlow accent and all with it, you know, and say it very poshly. But we're Carlow.
Yeah. Go full D4, Carlow D4.
Oh, lads. Well, lads, we're going to have to wrap it up there for the night. It's been great talking to you again. Plenty more to chat on next week. We have a full list of games on the weekend, of course, so we'll keep an eye on that. And we'll talk about the interprovincials and see how all these players get on. You know, who's going to be the out half for Ireland in a couple of weeks.
Before we finish up there, Stephen, just want to wish a stalwart of Kilkenny Rugby who's getting married tomorrow, Alan O'Donovan. He's actually marrying a Carlow woman. A County Carlow woman tomorrow up in Gary Hill there. So I just want to wish Alan and Eilish all the best from everyone in the club.
He mightn't get back out of Gary Hill.
Gary Hill's a rough spot.
It's very
actually classed as Kilkenny.
Sorry, folks. We have some good players from up there. So I'll take it back. I'm only messing.
Yeah, it's on the record now, Tom.
Lovely people.
That's
Absolutely.
it. Lads, enjoy your weekend and your matches. Go well.
See you, folks.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. Best luck, everyone, too.
Next week.
See you next week, guys. Bye.